What's up, guys? It's Wednesday night. Welcome to the race show. I'm your host. You guys already know who I am, but got a special guest for you this evening. But before we bring him on, just want to say that tonight's show is brought to you by Titanium Dynamics. Guys, if you need any titanium whatsoever for your race vehicles or any type of metal work or fabrication, doesn't have to be automotive, hit us up, hit me up personally, PM me. I could get you hooked up with them. I can get you a discount structure and all that fun stuff. So but yeah, guys, this is going to be an awesome show. We're going to talk about grudge racing. My man, 100 grand, Big Fred Wheatley is going to be on the stage. Okay, so I got a little video clip for you guys. Give me 1 second here. I have to actually pull it up because I had some issues before I came here. Like my camera wouldn't work, so I had to figure out what happened. But basically, I had to clear my cache in my browser and stuff. So I had the video up before, but it got taken down, so I have to bring it back up. But got a little video here. I love this video. This is an awesome clip. Hold on 1 sec here. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Share screen here. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. Okay.
No tone, right?
Hey.
Turn my voice up.
Yeah.
Somebody is gonna take on the belt. Get up,
You gotta follow me. I ain't squash the shit. Say less. 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 Say less.
I ain't squashing shit, JC can tell me to do it. I'ma tell them no. OGs get on the balls like they kill it. Most of them niggas hold. Trenches, I might drink, but I can't count a nigga baby home. I grew up a screw up after heat the crib up with the stove. 15 roaches strong in my face. Diddy probably troll. I get it credit. I don't stand you kill. That's how I be at show. Okay, I talk to features.
Did you guys see that? You saw that last car? That's right. Gave him the old, But coming to the stage, Big Fred. What's going on, man? I got you muted. I'm sorry.
What's going on, partner?
What's going on? I had you muted. Sorry.
All the way from Big Fred Productions.
Where do you live? You live in Southern Maryland, right?
No, actually, I live outside in the suburbs of Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, okay. Okay. Where at?
Yeah.
You're close to me then.
Yeah, we were really close.
Yeah. Yeah. All the way from Southern
Baltimore, Maryland.
What's going on?
What's going
Hey,
on,
guys.
man?
Thank you for coming on, by the way.
Thank you for
guys, if
having
you have
me.
any questions for Big Fred, please comment, subscribe, share this. Let's get this thing big tonight. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions for him. He told me before we got on, nothing is off the table. So
No, man. We're
except
an
the
open
drama.
book.
Leave the drama at home. Right? No drama.
Hey, that's what it is. Hey, Louis, I'll tell you, man, thank you for having me on. You got a great platform. It's a pleasure to be up here with you, man.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm sorry, guys. Our co-host, Alyssa, wasn't able to make it tonight. We're going to miss her. She's actually sick tonight. So,
Jared.
what's
That's
up?
my man, Jared.
Ricky Wilson. Yo. What
Richard
up?
Wilson, what's up?
So you were just at an event this past weekend, right? Lion Tigers and Bears?
Yeah, man, was at Custom Tees Motorsports Park.
Yep.
Team Solo, they had their 6th annual Lions, Tigers, and Bears. And it was a good time, man. Good time down there at
I
Custom
saw some
Tees
coverage
Motorsports
from
Park.
there. It looked pretty good. Any highlights from that event or?
I'll tell you, for me, man, several things from the weekend. First of all, whenever you can, the grudge community is like a big family.
Mhm.
So I'll say that Lions, Tigers, and Bears venue, one of the main organizers, Tater and his team, they've done a really good job of creating like a family-oriented atmosphere there. So it's like a big family reunion.
Mhm.
That was pretty cool just being around. You know how it is when we go to these events, Louis. Just you look for certain people in the crowd.
Yeah.
You look forward to seeing everybody. So that was a highlight for me. Action wise, I'll say the Big Tire guys on Friday night, they showed up and showed out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Man,
I
when I
saw
tell
that.
you,
Yeah.
them guys were laying it down out there.
Yeah.
And people would never know, like I've been a fan of the Big Tire racing for a very long time. I always wanted to own a Big Tire car, as crazy as that sounds, but
Yeah.
I never felt like I knew enough about them to be able to run a program.
Right.
I've been seeing these guys adjusting Willie bars and all. I'm like, what the hell is the height supposed to be or something? Right. So
Measuring and
right. They
adjusting.
measuring
Yeah.
everything, but so that was a highlight. Some good small tire racing, good 28, 275, and Mike Dent, what's up, buddy? 28, 275, all still our glass shootout on Saturday. But I'll say the ultimate highlight for me was the kids' Power Wheel race. Man, it's something about when I have these kids' Power Wheel races. Mark Benson, how you doing, buddy? When you have the kids involved, because they are our future,
Yep.
and they're so engaged in what it is we have to offer, man. The kids were like taking it very seriously. And then we had a lot of sponsors. Shout out to all the sponsors who enabled us to bless every kid with a significant amount of money just for showing up and having a good time. So it was a great weekend.
That's one thing I like about what you do. I like a lot of things about what you do as a promoter, but you're always giving back to the kids all the time. Yeah.
I'll tell you. Go ahead. My apology.
No, go ahead.
I'll tell you, man. And a lot of good people behind us. You know what I mean? Who partner with us and help us bless the kids.
Mm-hmm.
We've had for the Power Wheel Kids shootout, we've given out as much as 6,000, and I'll say our average somewhere around 4,000. We didn't quite reach that threshold this weekend, but still a great show out for the kids and for all the sponsors who gave in, man. Just imagine when some of these kids shootouts, they get awarded more than our shootouts for small time. You know what I mean?
I'm about to build a big wheel.
No, for real.
You'll see my ass on this big wheel like this.
Hey, look, let me find out. I see you tucked in a little Nookie Johnson on the starting line, man. I'm gonna fall out laughing. But yeah, the kids is definitely always a highlight for me, man. That's our future.
Yeah, man. That's one thing. So I watch the Wes Buck show all the time.
Okay.
And he said that, because he's big into like stats and drag racing and stuff. He said right now is the lowest participation in drag racing by our youth ever.
Wow.
Because it's different time. They want to be on the cell phones and on the video games, and not a lot of parents are taking them outside, you know what I mean, to go play and, to the racetrack, things like that, you know what I mean? So we need to get kids more involved, because if not, our sport's going to die.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, right? Because when we started our Bridge Wars and the overall promotion career, right? Mm-hmm. Back in Capitol Raceway, we call it 7 years and some change. Me and my good friend Antoine Jones, we started what we call 410 Grudge Dreams, right? So we always ran a program with the junior dragsters,
mm-hmm.
right? The junior dragsters, and they came to every race, year over year, and you just kind of nailed something home for me. You don't see, it seemed like once that class grew up of junior dragster racers, you don't see a community of junior dragster racers like it used to be.
Yeah.
Like we used to have 10 plus junior dragsters,
mm-hmm.
right? And now it's rare that I see a junior dragster at a no time event.
Yeah.
To your point, so I think we're missing a generation somewhere.
I would love to see more junior dragsters at a grudge event, for sure. You see them a lot in class races. Like, for example, I just did an event at Cecil County this past weekend. It was just a bracket race or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I also bracket race, but there's probably over 50 junior dragsters there.
Wow.
It was crazy. Definitely one of the biggest classes there.
Man, I love to see that.
Yeah, but I wish, more kids would get involved in grudge racing, you know what I mean? On that side of things, so, we could do a little betting, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, it's funny. And now that you say that, man, that because we even done the bracket style junior dragsters, to the point where as though, we dial them in and they run, their normal deal. Maybe that's something that I even think about for some upcoming events at Cecil.
Yeah, that'll be sick, man. I think around that area, there's a lot of junior dragsters there.
Okay.
In that area, so that might be a hit.
Yeah, you got me thinking that. You got my mind turning.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So let's get down to the nitty gritty. How did you get started in racing? Like, take us back.
Ooh. Oh man. So I'll say, my family in general, and little Mark Benson Jr. and Mike Dent, the Ballard family, we're known for, my last name is Wheatley, but I'm a Ballard, and we're known for generational racing. And what I mean by that is, our grandfathers, my uncles, and they just passed it on down. So it's funny because would you know that over 30 years ago, me and Mike Dent, and my older brothers, we used to be street racing, and meeting up on the weekends. That we don't want to highlight how old we are, but that goes to show how long these relationships that you build and significant relationships in racing, they last. But to answer your initial question, so it's generational in my family. But I'll have to say, I have to give the credit to my bigger brothers, Donald, Timmy, Bobby, who drives Dead Presidents, and he owns the Debo Nova. They kind of, I was a young man heading in the wrong direction growing up. And they kind of brought me to the racetrack to keep me out of the streets as a young man.
How old were you at the time?
Around about 12.
Okay.
Around about 12, I'll say. Maybe even 11. 11, okay. We call it 11, 12.
Okay.
They brought me, to the racetrack to keep occupied and to do productive things. And I'm thankful, man, because I'll say that, them, being my bigger brothers and keep me on the straight and narrow, and having something to look forward to every weekend. It probably helped save my life, growing up in some of the challenges that I had in the areas where I grew up at. So,
gotcha.
I'd have to give all the credit to my big brothers, Donald, Timmy. They all own cars. They own a green Nova called a Hawk. That we call that car Family Pride. My big brother Bobby, we call him Debo. In the garage world, he owns the Debo Nova, and he drives Dead Presidents. And then my brother Lamont, he had a little S10, but he's not in the racing community anymore. So those are the guys that brought me in the game. There you go.
Yep.
Look at you, man. I can't do nothing with you, man. There you go. Big brother and little brother, for real.
Yeah, man. I mean, that car, amazing car, right?
Thank you, man.
Won a lot of grudge races, things like that. Let's talk a little bit about that car. You got anybody lined up, in the near future, grudge race?
With the Dead President's car?
Yeah, the type, how did that car come about? Like, how did that get started?
A little quick history lesson. In 2017, I built my first Dead President's car. It was a two-tone silver, and it had candy green on top. We took it out to Capitol Raceway. And the first day out, someone came into my lane and wrecked the car.
Get out.
It took me about a year and some change to build it. And you know, we were testing quarter mile in.
Wow.
And you know, they got loose around the 8th mile and didn't let out of it and came into our lane and T-boned my driver. It was Rick K. Hall. First day out, man, brand new hot rod, and they wrecked it.
Wow.
You're talking about a dream killer and a momentum staller. So that was something that was kind of haunting me. And I'm like, I never really got to enjoy Dead Presidents, right?
Right.
Philly Shy, what's going on, man? So fast forward a couple of 3 years ago, I was on. So I always had a shell. I had a shell,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a drivetrain, but I never really got the mental momentum back. And you know how it is when you go down a little bit.
Yeah.
I never got the momentum back to want to rebuild the car because we had a little street car named Frank White, a little white notch that we were racing and winning pretty good with it. So I never really wanted to go back over there and build Dead President. So Rob 8-Ball was talking trash to me one day about Lions, Tigers, and Bears. And I told him I locked in a race for $2,500 and I didn't even have a car together. So I call my man, Little Ricky from Mobtown, and I said, Ricky, hey, I got a problem. He said, what's going on? I said, I just locked in a race for Lions, Tigers, and Bears. This was 3 years ago. So it was at 2021. And I don't have a car. Right. And here's the funny part. You ready for this?
You're starting to sound like Ricky Wilson.
Right. I didn't even have a car together. So I said, and here's the deal. The race is in 30 some days. He said, what? Have you lost your mind? So Little Ricky, I carried him a shell, a drivetrain, a motor, a transmission pad. What's going on, buddy? And I said, can you build this car in 30 days? When I tell you, he said, what's the budget? I said, it's no budget. Just do what you got to do because I'm not paying Rob 8-Ball no punk out. So wouldn't you know? And when I tell you, Louis, this car didn't have no windows, no doors, no fenders, no hood. It didn't have anything. It was just a shell. It had, 4 lugs. Man, when I show you some pictures of what that car looked like when I carried it to Little Ricky, you will fall on the floor. So it didn't have no interior, nothing. So I'll tell you, shout out to Mobtown Little Ricky. He built that car from start to finish in 20-some days and sent it to Jason Gray to the paint shop. And we had a total turnkey, beautiful hot ride in 30-some days.
Wow. What a story, man.
Yeah. So that's the Dead Presidents that you have that everybody sees today as we know it. But to your point, we've had some good success with that car. Mm-hmm. Over the, since we built that car. This year has been a challenge for some reason. Man, I've been fighting gremlins all year long with this car, and little simple stuff. Like I'll give you an example. I normally get my spark plug from a distributor that we've been getting them from year over year. 100-some plugs at a time, and this time they threw in some of those old knockoff Chinese plugs.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And, there's a big, there's things on YouTube about them and, all kind of blurbs on the internet about beware these, special kind of plugs that they're not legit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the distributor slipped them in on me. And that was a little issue we had, but little small gremlins. But we'll be back out at Bridge Wars.
Nice.
With Dead Presidents. We're going to put on, the way Mobtown do. We'll have 3 to 4 grudge races, and it'll be in a 4-car grudge out, mm-hmm. And we'll see how things turn out. See if we can't turn the season around.
Nice. Ricky said, "But I show up with a car." That is true. That is true. He does show up.
Good report, Ricky.
He does show up. Even though it might not be working right during his grudge race, he'll show up though.
That's right.
But he's he's been a killer this year, for sure.
Yeah, man, he's been on rails.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have an official announcement. I don't want to get off track, but that there be these guys are looking forward to. I'm gonna put it out tomorrow, and that's gonna stir the bees up a little bit. More to come on that.
I can't wait. I can't wait. So, we talked a little bit about 410 Grudge Dreams and how that got started. So, did 410 get transitioned to Big Fred Productions now, or?
Great question, man. Great question. So 410 Grudge Dreams is still around. My man Antoine Jones, we came into this along with his team and my team, my brothers, some 7+ years ago. Said my tongue got me going crazy. So 410 Grudge Dreams is still intact, right? Big Fred Productions, it started more off of me on the microphone, to create a separate entity from the 410 Grudge Dreams promotion, and then it turned into, a little more than what I anticipated. But Bridge Wars is a 410 Grudge Dreams baby, because that's something that myself, Antoine, and team that we started from day one, right? So you'll see, some additional folks in the mix, helping stimulate it. With 410 Grudge Teams being, Larry T, Custom Tees, Big Fred Productions, and then the Dream Team. But I'll tell you that 410 Grudge Dreams, as long as Bridge Wars is live, it will always be around. Antoine is not into the promotion as much as we used to be. And respectfully, I understand, because, given the climate, sometimes I don't want to be into it. But I'll tell you that the team is still intact, and we're looking to put on a hell of a show for Bridge Wars 2024, August 3rd and 4th.
That's one of my favorite events of the entire year. And
oh man, thank you for that.
You're doing what, 2-3 days this year?
Yeah. So the first day will be a test session. We'll have private testing, and then we'll have just a normal test day at the track that evening that Royce will be having. And then that Saturday and Sunday is actually going to be the 2-day event. So, last year we were forced to try to pack in a 2-day show in one day. And I don't think that was anyone's fault. I just think that it just got bigger, and it was packed. It was loaded.
Packed with fans, packed with racers. And you even said, I think on your post show, you're like, I had no idea, it was going to be this big. Like, obviously, thank you so much for your support, but had no idea. You know what I mean? It was huge.
I'll tell you, that's the one from a promotion standpoint. That's the one I've been dreaming of.
Yeah.
That's the show I've been dreaming of, man. So, dreams do still come true.
Right.
And, special thank you to folks like yourself and Richard and Mike and Pat and all the guys and racers and fans. And, I see Big Charles on here, Philly Shy, everybody who just helped make that a special day, man, because we made Grudge history together. We put up World Cup numbers.
Wow.
We put up World Cup numbers,
Grudge Racing's dead.
Grudge Racing did. I'll tell you what, in about, 5 weeks, we'll show them again that Grudge Racing ain't dead.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it again. So special thank you to everyone who helped make a part of Grudge history in the DMV in Bridge Wars 2023, and we're looking to do it again in 2024.
That's awesome. Justin asked, status check on Nookie Johnson 2.0. Will we see it this year? So
yeah, man, because I'm a fan of Nookie Johnson. Let us hear it.
So basically, I had a meeting with PSI Performance, the guys who are doing all the building on the car.
Okay.
Hit them up if you guys need anything, obviously. But hit up Don Bangs. So we sat down last week. I think it was last Wednesday. We sat down and we had a date in mind to get all the fabrication finished, which will be the end of June. And then I will be taking it down south to my man Eric Gold at Goldfinger Tuning. He's going to be doing all the wiring.
Nice.
And then from there, we do have a goal in mind on an event to be at. Not going to say which one because I don't
Nice.
want I don't want you know I don't want to say I'm going to be there and then I'm not there. But we do have a date in mind.
Okay.
So it's coming. It's coming. We have dates lined up, but obviously that's if everything goes well. You know what I mean? Anything can happen. Parts, whatever. Like we had a big issue with trying to find a wiring harness.
Wow.
So we finally found one in the country. I was literally searching for 2 days.
Wow.
In the whole country. I was even looking overseas and stuff for a wiring harness, and I finally found one. So sometimes that kind of stuff happens, but
Yeah, well, that's exciting, man.
yeah, I'm super
Because
excited.
when we have the 28 275, man, that's definitely a car that we look forward to seeing. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So good luck to you and bring the program along.
one of the most fun things I've done at your Bridge Wars event was the 4-car grudge out.
Oh man, I can't wait.
So,
Mama,
are you bringing those back this year?
great question. Coming to the stage for Bridge Wars 2024. 4-car grudge outs. And I save it. I save it, Lewis, for Bridge Wars.
Uh-huh.
Right? Because we had Blood, Sweat, and Tears at Cecil. That was a nice, successful event.
Mhm.
And I purposely saved the 4-car grudge outs for Bridge Wars. Mike Dent, you got that right. Big Magneto wants to spot in the 4-car grudge out. So, Jared, you're in. You're in. And as a matter of fact, I already had you in and didn't even let you know. And you too, Mike Dent.
Oh, man.
But man, yeah, so I'll tell you, that was a new concept that we created last year. Big
Mhm.
Fred Productions and the Dream Team. And actually year before last, and we really took it to the next level last year. And it just goes over really well, man. And it gives a different look.
Mhm.
And I think one of the best accomplishments with the 4-car grudge out is, a lot of people are not familiar with the rules. There has to be a grudge race every round, right? So you know this, Lewis, because there's pot money, right? And so the racers buy in, and then me as a promoting team, we put money on top of the pot.
Mhm.
And then, okay, Richard. And then each round, when we pair up or there's a call out that's accepted, they have to bet their own money in a grudge race. So what we're able to do with that is you're able to get some different grudge looks that maybe you traditionally couldn't get, if you know what I mean, Lewis.
Yep.
So we can get some guys in the paint, grudge racing each other in a 4-car setting.
Yep.
That maybe traditionally you couldn't get them to go or to agree on a race for many different reasons.
Right.
So I think that it brings a lot of action, untraditional action, races that people want to see.
Yeah.
That you normally couldn't see in that 4-car grudge. So I'm super excited for Bridge Wars 2024 from that perspective. And what I'll tell you is, Lewis, I'm looking to do 8 to 10. Maybe 5 on Friday. 5 on Saturday and 5 4-car grudge outs on Sunday. Something like that.
Yeah, now that it's 2 days, you got the time.
Yeah, I got the time where we can spread it out. So my mind is turning. Anybody who got any ideas, because some of the best ideas come from the fans.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So if you got any ideas, guys, post them on here right now.
Yeah, hit us up on here. If you like, there's something you like to see, because we want to entertain you, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you to the racers who are very open-minded to that whole 4-car grudge out process, because I don't really think I've had anybody tell me no.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So thank you to all the racers and the race teams.
Yeah, guys, you guys are the ones that make it happen. We appreciate you, obviously. I'm a racer myself, but I appreciate everybody that comes to any event and, races, because I know how hard it is, how expensive it is to do it, the amount of work. It's a full-time job. It's a full-time job.
Boy.
Yeah.
Hey, Lewis, if I can backtrack just for 1 minute, I won't be too long.
No.
But you'd asked me about 4 War on Grudge Dreams. You know something that's funny, and it just came to my mind. I never wanted to be a promoter.
Really?
Absolutely, Michael Walker. I never wanted to be a promoter, but I love the game, right? And from a grudge racing standpoint, the time that we came in, I'll say the grudge racing community was opportune, and not progressively moving forward like years before,
Hmm.
right? So, myself, my brothers, Antoine, his team, we came together, from a forward grudge dream perspective to see if we could do our part to stimulate the game that we love so much, right? So, but I don't ever remember waking up saying I want to be a promoter. You know what I mean? So it's for the love of the game. Of course, there's a business side to it. A lot of people get it misconstrued and think that it's a very profitable business entity, and it's really not when you look
No.
at all things considered. So you can't go into it with the mindset of, hey, I want to make $1 million, or hey, I want to do this and do that. You got to go into it like these days. It's about making sure that I can do my part to help keep the sport alive, because there's always a fear that it's going to die off.
Yep. I'm sure, being a promoter, you've had to, at the end of the day, maybe after one of your events that didn't do so well, you had to put some of your own money in.
Shit, a minute at a time. I'll
Yeah.
tell you this. So for we had an event right before they closed Capitol Raceway in 2019, right before the pandemic.
Hmm.
It was called Halloween on the Hill. And me and Antoine, we talked to some people, and God bless his soul, at that point in time, the owner of the track was Jimmy Bradshaw Sr.
God bless the soul.
God bless his soul. Wouldn't be no Big Fred Productions or none of that if it wasn't for Big Jimmy giving us the opportunity. So with that being said, the weather was gray. It was, showing some rain and not showing no rain. So we didn't wind up canceling the race the Friday before. And a lot of people travel, to be there. Then the 28-275 class was called Claim to Fame, right? So we used to run Claim to Fame, and the all glass class then was called Surfer Street. And Aaron Tingle, with a Silver Surfer, he used to give out a surfboard
Oh, that's cool.
for the winner, along with, prize money, et cetera, et cetera. So we didn't cancel the race. And people were there, and I kept being advised, man, you should cancel the race. You should cancel the race. So I started out with these, right, Mike, hey, I'm in the wrong business for sure, because this definitely ain't paying no bills.
Mike Den's always busting nuts, man.
I
All the
know,
time.
that's my guy right there, man. That's my guy right there. But make a long story short, didn't cancel that race. And, all these guaranteed pots here, 10,000 there, 5,000 there. Man, before you know it, we were 20, some almost 30,000 in the red. So
Wow.
that's just a small example of, a lot of people think a lot of things, but what happened when these things don't work out? Everything got to be
Right.
paid for.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I don't care.
Exactly. Everybody's still looking for their money. So
Yep.
I can tell you it's definitely not what people think it is. And then when you look at the hours that you put into it, a couple $1,000s that you may be blessed to be able to walk away with,
Mhm.
by the time you calculate the hours, it's less than minimum wage. So
Oh, yeah.
it's got to be for the love of the game. Bridge Wars last year was an exception to the rule, because that's a dynamic crowd and a dynamic blessing. But outside of that, man, it's just really all about the love of the game.
Yeah. No, I have an idea. You gave me an idea on a giveaway.
Uh-oh.
So I think, obviously I'm pretty biased on the, 28-275 class, the Outlaw 28-275, or
Mhm.
Extreme, whatever you want to call it. So I think I should, give away like a real samurai sword for the winner,
Oh,
at Bridge Wars, like a real deal.
I
Like,
like that.
yeah. And like, I custom make them, right?
See, you hid
So
that from me. I didn't know that.
yeah, no, so I custom make them because at my martial arts studio, that's one of the weapons we work on or whatever.
Okay.
I custom make them. I get all the parts and stuff, and put them together, and I can make them any colors. I can put anything on the blade. I can engrave it.
Oh my God.
So I'm gonna engrave winner 2275, or whatever. What's the class called? What do you call it? I forget.
28-275 all the way live.
Live, yeah. So I'll put 28-275 all the way live winner Bridge Wars 2024.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh man, see, this is where the magic happened, folks. This is how the magic happened. Now that's how I didn't know that. I didn't know that you custom made them samurai swords.
Yeah, I can do anything, like gifts. Like if you want to give a gift to someone, I can put whatever on it. Yeah, I can engrave the scabbard, with a photo. Like I could put, like, let's say the Mobtown logo. I can put that on the scabbard. You know what I mean? It's I can do pretty much anything.
Mobtown. I know they don't like it. That's why I keep saying it.
So
man.
when you you said you didn't want to become a promoter. So how did that come about? Was Bridge Wars your first event ever?
So no, believe it or not. The first event I did ever, I think, don't quote me on the year, but let's just call it 2016. 2016, I think, at Capitol Raceway. It was a grudge test and tune. Keith Holland, great report. And I did it with Wicked Bird. So it was Wicked Bird, the guy owns Big Tar Car. It was Wicked Bird, myself, his partner, Big Johnny, and my partner, Antoine, on our two teams. So that was the first race ever that I ever did. And I think that was in 2016, either 2016 or beginning of 2017. Don't quote me. But that was the first race.
Gotcha.
And we set a record. We set a record with that. It was called a Grudge Test and Tune on the hill, the Capitol Raceway, and Crofton, Maryland. And whatever was the capacity, biggest grudge crowd at that point, identified by the owner, that we set a new record that day.
Wow, that's amazing. I need Lewis money.
Shout
so
out to King
fast. Man, Timmy,
Timmy, what's up?
I ain't got no money. I'm so broke. Like, let me tell you, like this car is making me so broke. I have to sell like organs and stuff to pay for this car. It's ridiculous.
Lewis, right, while you're on that topic, I think that a lot of times, you'll see, folks will say, we like to see this, or we like to see that, but nobody other than the racers and owners and race team understand what it costs to even get a vehicle to the track. The expense, not separate and apart from a build, right? You're doing a build, that carries its own uniqueness about it. But just race weekend and race week out, you talking about anywhere from 1,000 to 2,500 to some of these larger big tar programs they was telling me about the weekend. Just to get to the racetrack, you haven't grudge raced nobody yet. You haven't went down the track, none of that. And this time where we was talking earlier, everything's high, inflation, but money, that's why you don't see as much racing as you used to.
Yeah.
Now racers are forced to pick and choose what events they're going to go to, because no one really can afford to race week over week like we used could. You know what I mean? So I think that has a lot to do with attendance being opportune to some of these events, is because the cost of everything is so high, and especially like for these nitrous cars, where even the little bit of
plugs they use and nitrous and
nitrous and it's a lot, man. So just a special shout out to all the racers and owners who have to foot the bill. Whether you go to the racetrack and you lose every grudge race or you go undefeated, we respect what it costs for you to get there, and we just want to give you a shout out.
Man, let me tell you, this is the God honest truth, and I'm a turbo guy, you know what I mean? So, I don't have to deal with a lot of materials like a nitrous guy does, right?
Yeah.
But, to go to the track, it costs me per weekend probably around $2,000.
See?
You know what I mean?
See, that's what I mean.
Just, you have your fuel expenses to get there. You have your fuel for the car. You have your plugs. You have I have to pay my team because I don't have a shop. I'm not a mechanic in any way. I'm a driver and team owner. That's it, you know?
Yeah.
So I know how to do the logistics of things and I know how to drive, but I'm not working on Nucky. You know what I mean? Like, can I do things?
Right.
Absolutely. Like, you know, I can do anything, but I'm not a master mechanic. So I got to pay my guys to be there. Got to pay my tuner to be there. You know, got to pay for the hotels because we don't have a toter.
We don't have motorhomes.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have a motorhome yet or anything like that, even though I'm looking into that because it'd probably be more cost effective.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of money that goes into it. And I think fans don't realize that, you know, when they complain about, oh, this driver didn't show up, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes you financially can't. And and I'll tell you another thing. I would not be doing any heads up raising if it wasn't for all my sponsors. You know, I have a lot of supporters. I'd be doing bracket racing because it's way cheaper. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But
the biggest expense is the buyback.
Nucky Johnson would not exist if it wasn't for my sponsors.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
Respect, Lewis.
Yeah.
And I think that's just, you know, without beating a dead horse, I think it's just so important that everybody knows what it goes into these programs just to get these cars to the racetrack, man.
Yeah.
It's
very important.
You know, a lot of people are single man teams. They don't have nobody to help them foot the bill.
You're right.
And I'm one of them. You know, we may have a team, but you know, I foot the bill by myself and my cars. And it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. Mark Benson said, "I want Nucky Justin first round shootout Bridge Wars."
Oh,
which car, buddy? Because Mark is rich. He's got like 10 cars, so I don't know.
You never know what little Mark he gonna bring.
No, he's a good driver. He drives for.
That's my man. Him and his dad, they're just good people, man.
Oh yeah, good people.
Been knowing them for years, man. I've been knowing his dad just as long as I've been knowing Mike Dent.
Oh really?
Yeah, 30 plus years.
Wow. So why do you love grudge racing so much? Like when I think of grudge racing, I think, you know, one of the people I think about immediately is you. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So like, why do you love that style of racing so much?
I love grudge racing so much because the essence of grudge racing really is three things: money, math, and mystery. Right? So let me give you an idea. If you're class racing, you know what you have to have in order to fit the rules to run the class, right? If you run an ultra, you pretty much know what your competitor has, right?
Right.
And you know the weight restrictions, you know what they should weigh. You pretty much can damn near dial somebody's car in to the T, ET wise, without physically seeing them light the boards up or the ticket. Would you agree or disagree?
I agree.
And grudge racing, you don't know what the hell you're pulling up beside.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the mystery of it. So I think the competitiveness comes because in a shootout forum, you're racing, you know, you may have a small buy-in, but for the most part, you're racing with the house's money, the larger portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
And when grudge racing, it creates a certain level of competitiveness and readiness because you're footing your own bill.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter whether you're racing for $50 or you're racing for $5,000, right? Whatever it is, it's all on you, right? So it's about that anxiety, so to speak, about the essence of unknown.
Yep.
It's about, of course, we try to do our grudge math and think we can get it close like you could with a class car, but you really can't a lot of times. And so you're trying to do the math, but I think the mystery and the competitiveness is really what does it for me, because it's, 75%, 80% of the time is heads up racing. But there's that 20% of the time, 25 where it's not.
Right.
A faster car can run a slower car. Slower car can call out a faster car and ask for a spot. When you're doing the class racing, it's just heads up racing. So in grudge racing, any two cars can race.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry about that. Someone was trying to call me. In grudge racing, any two cars can race. Do y'all not know I'm on the race show? One of the hottest shows in the country.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Shout out to my man Lewis. I'm creating a hell of a platform. But so for me, man, it's about the competitiveness. It's about the anxiety behind the competitiveness. It's about the mystery.
Yeah.
And then I'd say the money would have to play a part in it, but it's not as important as people think it is.
I feel like drag racing in general is missing the mark on the gambling side of things, because if you think about it, almost every sport you can gamble online. Football.
I thought about that, man.
Yeah, like there should be an app where anybody can bet on any drag race going on.
Me and you are going into business together, because I'm gonna tell you, you just read my mind. Like for the last 2+ years, I've been wrecking my brain, right? And I'm like, how the hell can I put together this app?
Right.
Right. One of my leaders, I come from a corporate background, right? And one of my leaders and mentors in my corporate experience created a golf finder app, right? That's right. Shout out to the guy who cleans up very well.
I'm gonna make this into a T-shirt, and we're gonna call it Corporate Fred.
Hey, it's crazy because you might see me with my hat turned around backwards on Saturday and Sunday, but that's how we do it Monday through Friday.
That's awesome.
But yeah, he created a golf finder app, Lewis, and we were talking it up with him amongst his friends, and he got with a developer and brought it to fruition, and it retired him. So me and you, Lewis, we're gonna get together and we're gonna create. We know they're hearing it, but they're not smart enough to move as fast as we are.
Yeah.
We're gonna create this damn this drag racing that where you can bet on all races.
Let's do it. What was the estimated cost to build one of your cars? I'm assuming, Kelvin, you're talking about me. So Nucky Johnson, I would say if I had to put all my own money into it, I would say 250,000.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, even on a smaller scale, at what we do, 100,000+ easy.
Yeah, easy. You gotta love this game to spend this kind of money and be broke.
No, for real, man. It definitely is a grand sacrifice.
Yeah,
it's a grand sacrifice. So I'm gonna ask you, and I'm gonna ask myself the same question. I'm gonna answer it. That's kind of weird. Jermaine, shut up, boy. You crazy. I wish. But separate and apart from winning.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say? Mild I gotta have him. I know he don't like it. That's why I keep saying it. Shout out to Red Nose Dotson, boy. He's crazy. When I tell you we're gonna get him at Bridge Wars, it's gonna be sweet, y'all. It's gonna be something that everybody's gonna love to see. I gotta have him.
The Naked Lady's been on rails this year, man.
Hey, listen, I gotta give him credit. Without sidebarring too much, they took their time and got his program together. He got his car right, and he got a hell of a contender, man. So shout out to Dotson, the Naked Lady. That car is riding. Cause see, I'm a fan. Forget the competitive. I'm a fan first. What Mike says, spend $2 million to win 5K. Yep. Hey, Mike, that's real. Yep. Shout out to my man, Mike Dent, man. I named him the mayor of Ocean City. Yeah, I nominated him myself. It was no damn election. I nominated him. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But the question I was going to ask you was, so I'm going to ask you first, and then I'll answer it myself. Separate and apart from winning, if you're in a shootout or a grudge out, what is your proudest moment at the track with Nookie Johnson?
My first win. And not because I won. It wasn't because I won. It's because I spent so many years trying to win a round. I never won a round until I got into Nucky Johnson because I totally changed my program. I changed the car. I got a new team. Shout out to Don Bangs. Shout out to Eric Gold.
Hell of a team.
Byrne, Brandon Wessner. Shout out to everybody that helps me out. I never won a round of small tire heads up racing until I switched.
Who would ever think of that?
So yeah, so like I'm the type of person, if something's not working, I got to change it. I don't beat my head against the wall. You know what I mean? I'll maneuver around whatever I need to maneuver. And then once I won, it was like a huge weight off my shoulders. And guess what? After that, we just kept winning and winning and winning, and like I said, it wasn't about the win and wasn't about the money. It was about just getting that weight off my shoulders and knowing, all right, yeah, I can do this and I know how to, I know how to win. You know what I mean? So I think that was the biggest thing. And just, my dad got me into this game and just to make my father proud, you know what I mean? Things like that, you know what I mean? So it wasn't about the win itself. It was just this huge weight, just, you know what I mean?
Off your shoulders.
Yeah.
Feel like you got an elephant off your chest.
Yeah. So what about you?
So it's funny because while I was asking you that, I was kind of gathering my thoughts. I'll say the proudest moment for me is when we brought the dead president's car out, and it's been several times I got this feeling. Separate and apart with who we racing or what we're racing for, that doesn't mean to me what people think. As competitive as I am, it does not matter as much as people think it does, or they would think it would matter to you, a Big Fred. What means the most to me is it brings my whole family together.
Yeah.
Right. So, my big brothers, Donald and Timmy there, and my, big brother Debo is driving the car, and my sister and my mom and my wife and my kids and grandkids, and Mobtown, the brothers. I think, and one time I look back and it put me in tears to see, because everybody's so busy.
Yeah.
Right. If you think of the concept of family these days, a lot of times people are going in their own separate direction, not because there's no animosity or issues, because life be life. And then so everybody's so busy just trying to keep their head above water.
Yeah.
Right. So the mere fact that everybody could put all of that aside and come to the racetrack and be supportive of the new program, the new car, and I mean everybody was there. I would say that was my most proudest moment, and it got me real emotional. Nobody even know it.
Yeah, I would agree. So so every one of your events I'm at, even though I'm not with Nucky, right? I'll bring my goddaughter's car, my goddaughter's Mustang or whatever.
I'm gonna answer that question, Sheldon.
And it's it's not nothing fast. It's an NA small block Ford car. But I bring it for her to get seat time, not we can get seat time anywhere, right? We can go to regular test and tune or whatever, but I bring it to your event to support want to support you guys and just to be around family. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Ricky Wilson, Jared, Timmy, everybody, Pat Estevez. I consider you guys family now. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So I want to be around you guys. You know what I mean?
You look forward to seeing. I look forward to seeing y'all.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And me and you were somewhere, and you had the little Mustang that day.
Yep.
And I think it was it might have been opening day at Bud's Creek.
I think it was. No, it was Cecil. It was a test and tune at Cecil, I think.
It was a test and tune. No, it was Bud's Creek. Because remember, Pat and them were like
Oh yeah,
parked right down from me, Pat and Paul.
Yep.
And it was just, it felt like a family reunion.
Yeah.
Like I was just so glad to see y'all.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't nothing going on at the track other than testing.
Right.
But we just had such a great time amongst each other.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So those are the things that matter to me the most. If you don't mind, real quick, Lewis, I'll answer this question. The Shelton put in, he says, why do promoters leave certain types of cars out when they have a show? I'll tell you from a promoter standpoint, one of the biggest challenges is two things. What do the fans want to see? And how can you solve for that while putting bodies in seats, butts in seats?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So an ideal race would be leaving it wide open and everybody can do everything.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, you know that's not realistic. So Shelton, one of the challenges from a promoter standpoint, and I'll tell you, with me, I'll speak for myself, is, and then the other thing is, what will bring car count?
Right.
Right? So, because I got some of my favorite classes that I would love to run, but I'm not able to run them because only 3 or 4 cars show up, if that.
Right.
So it becomes more of what's a fad, meaning like, 28 275 all still, the 28 275 class now is like what the old 315 class used to be. Right?
What do you mean by that?
Meaning that it was one of the hottest things going.
Mm-hmm.
So the 28 275 and the 484 class that Mike Hill has, I would say it's bringing that like energy that the 315 class used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I might be wrong if I say it, but I think Mike used to be the owner of the 315 class. So he's done a great job transitioning, from one to the other to keep the fans and racers happy. But Shelton, it's not exact science, man, and it's really not easy, to be honest with you. Me personally, I don't leave out any class or group of racers on purpose. When people reach out, some of the best ideas that I have come from people reaching out. They may call me up or text me or hit me up in my inbox, say, what do you think about this? I'll give you an idea. Big Charles is on here, Charles Somerville. One day last week, he was like, hey, Fred, check your messages.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this 4-car grudge? I said, oh, wait. I said, man. I said, Charles, man, what were you doing to think of that? He's like, man, it just can't. I said, keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we don't need credit. We give credit where it's due. But I think that it just comes from people communicating what they would like to see.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they run a certain class that they would like to run it at an event. I think that back and forth dialogue helps.
Right.
Because otherwise, without that back and forth dialogue, the promoter is forced to go with what they think they know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
what would I like to see more sponsorship from? What I would like to see is more sponsorship from companies. You got that right, Kat.
Yep.
and Lewis is the man.
Yeah. I think it all comes down to, if the one going after them, right? It's hard because, nobody's going to jump in and be like, hey, Fred, like, here's 10 grand for your event. You kind of have to sell it to them, right?
And let them know what's in it for them.
Right, exactly. And then on top of that, grudge racing's edgy. You know what I mean? So a company that, super professional company that's clean cut is probably not going to sponsor grudge racing. You're going to have to, go after, a strip club.
Yeah, just to be transparent, grudge racing is unorthodox.
Right.
So, and most of these bigger company are household brands, mm-hmm. and they're family oriented. And some of the ways that we engage in the grudge community is not particularly sponsor friendly.
Right.
and some folks will be scared to be associated with what some of the potential outcomes could be.
Right.
We need to get, you're absolutely right, Mike. And that's why one of the things y'all see with me and it comes from my corporate background, is that, I'll in person, I'll get a little spicy and, have a little fun, mix it up a little bit, but you'll never really see me being too unprofessional. Right. It's because I pride myself in carrying it a certain type of way. You got to know when to turn it on and turn it off.
Right.
But the sponsors, they look for a certain recipe that will be consistent with what their brand offers and how they communicate with their the people who patronize their brand.
Yep. I speak from experience. Any sponsor I deal with, if they don't really know me,
so you have to make sure
I tell them straight up, hey, I'm a little edgy. I curse, you know what I mean? Not all the time, but a little bit. I curse a little bit, and I'm a little edgy. I'm not as clean cut, as somebody competing in, NHRA or whatever, you know what I mean? So I'm talking to a company right now. They're very clean, but they're looking for somebody a little edgy. So
okay. So sounds like you fit the bill.
Yeah, exactly. So the marketing girl, she was telling me that, I want to get away from the clean cut, I want a little bit of edginess in our marketing. And so we've been talking back and forth or whatever. So it's got to be the right fit.
To your point, Lewis, we do have brand power in the No Time Grudge world, though.
Yes.
Because we are a large community, significant,
yes.
Right? We are worldwide and international. So to some of the companies that are quicker to jump on board with the No Time and take that chance, because it is a calculated risk. Let's talk business.
Mm-hmm.
We do have significant bargaining power as the No Time Grudge community from a business standpoint. And we do represent significant numbers.
Yes.
Right. So with that being said, every company is going to want to know what's in it for me. And we do have numbers and such where it could be something in it for them.
Yep. Yeah, every fan that was at Bridge Wars last year, they spent money to get there. They got, they'll spend money on things they like. So hit this man up for some sponsorship, guys.
No, for real, man, because I'm going to tell you this. There's a couple that I'm working on now, Lewis. And in my ideal world, I would like to do, if I could get my hands on 30,000, I would do $10,000, $28,275 free entry, 10,000 all steel, all glass free entry,
mm-hmm.
and 10,000 big tire free entry.
Ooh, Mike.
So anybody with $30,000 and you don't have nothing to do with, hit up Big Fred, because that's what I'm working on. I like to do 10, 10, 10. I'm gonna call it 3 the hard way. You like that?
Yeah.
Lou? 3 the hard way. Tons of fun. Come on and get yourself some. Right? And it don't cost you nothing. The only prerequisite is you got to come and have a damn good time and try to win some money.
I'm going to try to help you out with that, man. I'm going to reach out to my contacts and
please, man.
I think there's money there, for any company to get involved in that event in particular. They'd be stupid not to if they have the income to spend, right?
Yeah.
Because it's huge.
It is, man. And I think that with something like that, we could make it even bigger and better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we'll definitely talk on that, Lewis. But I think if you say, Fred, if you could do one thing for Bridge Wars this year, separate and apart from the grad, it'll be that. And I would pay each class down to the semis.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you'd have at least 12 winners.
Yep. That'd be sick. That'd be sick,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
As a promoter, what do you think you do differently than other promoters don't do?
Damn, well, you really put me in the butt. Why is a hot seat on that? I'll share my recipe for success.
Uh-huh.
Right. So shout out to all the promoters, because I say every promoter has their own uniqueness. Everybody has something that works for them, their own secret recipe. Because you'll quickly be out of business if you don't find something that works for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, shout out to all the promoters near and far. But I'll tell you, a couple things that are my secret recipe for success is number one, being a people person.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we show up at the races doing business, but I look forward to having conversations and handshakes. Right? So it's about the relationship building. It's about service.
Right.
Providing that, I come from that corporate background where we had to provide remarkable service that's memorable for the right reasons. Right? And that too, Big Mike, screaming on the mic all night long. I'll tell you, man, that's a
money
passion.
flying.
Money flying everywhere. We trying to get busy, y'all. But yeah, you know what it is, man? And now that you say that, now that Mike said that, and this is a part of the recipe, life is so tough, right? And life be lifing for everybody. Everybody who's on here right now is going through something, but nobody's talking about it, right? So my message is keep your head up and keep on keeping on, right? And stay prayed up. But when you see me on the mic, let me tell you where that energy comes from. I've made a conscious commitment to myself to say, how can I make people feel so good and have so much fun on Saturday to the point that they forgot everything that stressed them out Monday through Friday?
You hit the nail on the head. That's why I go racing. It's literally my therapy.
That's what I'm talking about. It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
So
that's why I go racing.
It's an outlet. It's therapeutic. It gets us away from the everyday challenges of life. Fred is the reason I come to the races. Sometimes the best of my hand on the main of it. Thank you, man. That right there, that comment right there keeps me going. Sometimes when I don't even feel like I want to continue on, those types of inspirational messaging and feedback, that's what gives me the strength to keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy, but I'll say consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because we're going to be consistent. And then I'll say a great damn team. When I tell you, I feel like I got the best team in this business. My man, Mobtown D Love, he's been running the lanes for us. Wow, look at that right there. Mobtown.
Yeah.
Right? Those guys, man, we have a common love for racing, but we built a brotherhood that supersedes racing. But I'll tell you, just having the same people, like, David, he's been running the lanes for they're like, why your lanes run so smooth when we were at Cecil County Dragway? Well, because I've had the same guy running the same program for 7 years, and he's got it down to a science. And often times, little brother CJ, that owns Rags to Riches, helps him sometimes. This year has been all by itself. CJ's been racing and working, but sometimes they do that together. But I'll say a great team, and Boss Lady Crystal, she's been a great addition, over the past couple of years, and the Dream Team with I got to give Antoine Jarp Jones, because we've been, he's the one that's always been in the background, because he don't like to talk a lot from a 410 Grudge Dreams perspective. And I kind of talk for both of us, but He's been around from day one. Like I said, Bridge Wars is our baby from a 410 West Dream perspective. But just a great team, man. And then my Mobtown brothers, like even Avon, even though he'll be having 3, 4, 5 races, he'll be in the lanes with David or running back and forth from the starting line to the lanes to make sure everything's going smooth. So I'll just say, Lewis, a great damn team, man. That's the biggest, a great team.
That's awesome. So before we get off, you still have some events coming up in 2024. What's your next event? Our next few events. I think I have the schedule here.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna put the first update out here, right? So you see this June 28th, 29th.
Mhm.
That event's gonna be rescheduled for a later date.
Okay.
So the next date coming to the stage all the way in Southern Maryland at Maryland International Raceway, Bridge Wars. Rep your set.
I can't wait, man.
Oh man, when I tell you, I'm about to go hard for about 5 weeks straight. 5, 6 weeks straight. After this weekend, I'm in Bridge Wars mode until August 2nd. So
That's
you're
awesome.
gonna see me here, there, everywhere. So I'm most excited about the Bridge Wars race coming up. We got another event at the Bridge Wars at Cecil County Dragway.
Mhm.
And then I think my end of year event is at Outer Banks. And I'm most excited about the Outer Banks race as well. Shout out to Dorsey and Timmy at Outer Banks Speedway.
I love Outer Banks, man.
Man, when I tell you,
fucking
that's my
love that
second
track.
home. I love them, man, and they created an atmosphere, this family. That's
Yes.
what we've been talking about earlier. So it's first time doing the race at Outer Banks. So I think it was October 4th and 5th. I'm super excited to go down there and just be down there for the weekend and have a good time. That's gonna be the last point series race of the year. But Bridge Wars is what's up next. All roads lead to Bridge Wars from this point moving forward. And all in all, we're gonna have a ball. And you have my commitment to do everything in my power to make Bridge Wars as successful as it was in 2023, but +1 for 2024.
Definitely hit me up with those stat numbers from last year.
Okay,
send me
I
a text,
definitely will.
whatever, and then I'm gonna see if I can get you some money, man.
I appreciate that, man, because that's what will help make the difference so we can make it better for the racers. We're always going to put our money where our mouth is, but I think that anytime that we can do something like that, that's when we're really on top of our game.
That's awesome. I did say that was the last question, but I just had one pop up in my head.
Man, you know what? I'm having so much damn fun asking what you want. Your show is lit, man.
Thank you. So, this year you did a little something different than last year. You did a points thing, right? Who do you think who's going to be, maybe who might win each class? Who do you think it might?
So I'm going to tell you. So first and foremost, I want to apologize to the guys in the point series because I haven't been giving them consistent communications as I should. But here's my promise and commitment from this point forward. So we've had half of, maybe I don't even think half of the point series. So we had several races, but I promised the point series guys that you will see an update coming out this week by tomorrow. And then you will see after every race within 48 hours, you will see where the point standings are. So that's my commitment to look at Zeus talking about this, the lock-in show. No, this is the race show, Zeus, and this show's lit. I'm on here with my man, Lewis is one of my favorite guys, man. There's no question about that. But
Thank you.
so the current standings, the current point series leader for 28-275, who do you think it is?
Is it? It's either Jared or Ricky.
It's Jared. and Richard Wilson is a close second. So Jarrett and Team Magneto, they are the current point series leader for 28 275s all the way live. And then for all steel, all glass, the current leader is Tommy Lynch and Girlfriend.
Gotcha.
Right. So shout out to Tommy Lynch and Girlfriend, Lynch Mob Racing. He's done a great job transitioning year over year. And then we got to give a shout out, man, to the Big Magneto crew. Jarrett, Timmy, Dorsey, Mario, and nephew and family. They've done a hell of a job, man, putting together a hell of a program with Big Magneto, and they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. So shout out to both of those teams for leading thus far. Now, who will finish up the lead?
Yeah. Do you think Magneto might take it, or do you think somebody else might take it? Or
I think Magneto's a force to be reckoned with, and somebody's gonna really have to bring it to get him. But it's enough time.
Yeah.
Right. It's enough time for somebody to do it. But I think that they figure some things out. And Mama, I just saw a rocket ship. Man, that thing is right. And Magneto, boy, that thing's, Magneto, Nookie Johnson, them things separate like a ladder when they get out there past 330 feet. I want
to take on Magneto.
You want to take on Magneto?
Yeah.
That right there, wherever, whenever it happens, is worth the price of admission. All I want to do is I want to be on the microphone wherever it happens. Because boy, I'm going to tell you, I promise you I'm not going to have no damn voice after that race. I'm going to be screaming to the top of my lungs, man.
Maybe we could do it at OBX.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Maybe we can do it at OBX.
So on behalf of the Magneto team and the Nookie Johnson team, Big Fred said it's a lot.
Yeah. Timmy said we need all three. Man,
Timmy.
I got to get down just like anybody else, man.
This is true. Hey, Timmy, here's the difference. Lewis got to figure out his new program. You guys already figured out.
Yeah, and they'll be at their home track.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
They'll be at their home track.
So that'll be good. So I think that Magneto is going to be a force to be reckoned with, consistently throughout the year. They started off the year good, and I think they'll finish up strong because they're getting better every time out. And they look really good. Most recently, we were at South Carolina at Trigger Man's Race, No Mercy.
Yeah.
They looked really good there, and they had a damn good showing there. But like I said, it's a lot of bears, too, that were maybe not ready the first half of the season.
Yeah.
That'll try to come on the second half of the season and show up and show out. So I think it's going to get interesting. But they are definitely the team. We got a Nova. I ain't saying no names. Look, Lamont Cofield talking about get him, Lewis.
So, but yeah, this was
it's gonna get interesting in y'all's class, man.
Yeah, I think it's either gonna be Magneto, Ricky, if he could get his car back together, because he's redoing the motor right now. But
okay, shout out to Richard Wilson. Him and Pop, his dad, man, that's my man. $100,000. Or
it's gonna be Black Friday.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. Black Friday. So the Black Friday racing team, that's my favorite race family.
Yeah.
Right. People, I don't think nobody sleeps on Black Friday, but I'll say it's one of the most slept on cars. Mm-hmm. Nobody sleeping car can win any event any day.
Yeah. Because it goes A to B everywhere.
Oh, man.
Everywhere.
When I tell you, man, that car right there is a hot rod, and it's beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, so like I said, I think the second half of the season is going to be very exciting for that point series. And we're going to do everything we can to make it even more exciting. And then from an all steel, all glass perspective, Tommy's in the lead. The side chick is, I think, a close second. But you got the naked lady the naked ladies in that class, and them and Tommy, they were going at it down South Carolina. We were down there together, so they're looking forward to having each other. So I think we're gonna see some really good damn racing for the close out the season.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of shit talking whenever those champions are crowned.
Yes, right. Oh man, and listen, I don't care what I have to do, man. I'm gonna make it a ceremony. It's gonna be special and it's gonna be lit. I can promise you that. Whoever the winners are.
Oh, that's gonna be sick, man. I can't wait, man. You got a lot of stuff going on, man. I wish you nothing but the best of luck. You know, obviously I'll be there to support. And
thank you, brother.
Thank you for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it. This was so much fun. This is probably
this is fun for me, man. Yeah. I don't do too many shows because and not be no type of arrogance or nothing. It's because when you do your own, like and you know, Lewis, like this is exhausting. Like when I'm doing them lock-in shows a couple times a week, it's mentally exhausting. Mm-hmm. So I really don't have a lot of mental bandwidth to do too many shows. But I'll tell you that you've created a hell of a platform here, man. And this is something that I actually looked forward to doing. It, you know, I've had a great time with you. It's lit. And I'm going to tell you, man, keep doing what you're doing and anything I can do to support your program. I want to shout out a couple of sponsors, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Scotty Wills Racing. Scotty Wills Racing is a proud sponsor of the Point Series Championship.
Scotty's a great guy.
Jared Brunner Racing is another a proud sponsor of the Point Series Championship. And anybody else who'd like to come on to help us close out the season strong for the racers, we appreciate you. We read Big Mark, Little Mark. Hey, Mark, thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
And so, Lewis, just keep doing your thing, man. You have I know you show me that I have your support. And I want to let you know that it goes both ways, man. Ditto to you because you have my utmost support as well.
I appreciate it, man. I just trying to do something different, level up the game, you know, especially the grudge game, because I'm a grudge racer at heart. You know, I don't know where the world will take me. You know, I might do some class racing in the future. Who knows? But you know, just trying to level up the game. That's
right. And listen, I'll tell you this, y'all. I'm gonna give y'all a little funny before I get off of here. So I felt real damn important coming on Lewis's show tonight because you know I was in the back. It says sit still for a minute because you're in queue. You're in the green room now. I said, shit, boy, I feel like I'm about to go on the late show tonight. The night show. Man, you got a real classy setup, man. I'm gonna have to step my damn game up because I just be on live feed hollering my ass off. Hey, y'all, Lewis had me in the green room and snacks and shit back there and everything, man. Flying everywhere. The race show get busy, y'all. But thank you, Lewis, man. I appreciate you, man. And I'm wishing you continued success with everything, your show, your race program, and everything, man. And I'm always a fan and a big supporter of you.
Same to you, man. Same to you. I can't wait to Bridge Wars 2024. Guys, if you're looking to sponsor a massive event, if you've never heard of Bridge Wars, you need to look it up. You know, get in touch with me, get in touch with Big Fred. You know, I'm going to be giving away a samurai sword, a real deal samurai sword. You know, it's going to be like $1,000 sword.
Man, that's classy. I'm gonna have to get a glass case made or something for that.
Yeah. Well, I'll probably give the winner a stand so they can display it. You know, yeah. 2275 is gonna be lit. You know, all steel, all glass is gonna be lit. It's just gonna be crazy. All the grudge races. You know, it's gonna be great. And then all the rest of the events that you got going on this year. You know, it's gonna be a great time as well.
Yeah, man. So close out commercial. You, everybody on this platform, you have been personally invited to Bridge Wars, Rep Your Set live at Maryland International Raceway, August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. August 2nd is a test day. 3rd and 4th is the actual race days. What will you see? I thought you'd never ask. You will see 40 to 50 plus grudge races, locked in grudge races between the 2 days. You will see 28 275 all the way live. You will see all steel, all glass getting busy for some cash. You will see a big tar shootout live at Bridge Wars. You will also see 10 plus 4-car grudge outs. So we got something for everybody, tons of fun. Make sure you come get yourself some. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. Bridge Wars. Hey, I appreciate you, Lewis.
And you heard it on the race show. See you later,
All right,
guys.
man. All right, y'all have a good one.